Kia ora, good morning. Quick little video. If any of you out there are on a spiritual journey, or you believe in this sort of stuff that I, as a high priestess, am teaching, if you're ever wondering why, when everything's going really, really well, stuff starts happening, like bad things start happening, and you're wondering why, it's because the tempters have been put in your path. Now, obviously, you have God, you have Satan, you have Jesus, you have the devil, you have demons in the middle, right? And you have your earth angels and all of that. So there's all varying levels of righteousness and damnation that is put in our path when you're on an ascending path, to lead you on your path and tempt you off your path. Now, obviously, the more you get wrong, the more you sway to the side of damnation, where you will rack up karmic debt. The more you get right, you will get, praised in salvation, and you get dharma payouts, dharmic rewards, right? So the tempters are in the middle. And the tempters are like Grim Reaper, or in the art of creation, Grim Rapper. Okay, so the tempters are in the middle, and they're like the Grim Reaper. They don't take either side. The temptations of life, the temptations of the apple, the temptations of the snake, and the Garden of Eden, the temptations of reward, the temptations of success, the temptations of drive and determination, tempting the hand of fate. That saying, tempting the hand of fate. When you're on a destined path, because basically what happens is, before you come down, it's decided that person's going to be a chosen one, that person's going to be a president, that person's going to be a famous actor, that person's going to be a this. But then the path you choose to get there is all up to you. Every choice and decision you make is one step closer to you fulfilling your destiny. We all have a destiny, but how we achieve that destiny is all based on the choices and decisions that we make to take those steps forward. So it's like, when you're doing really well and you're taking those steps forward and everything's going really well and falling into place, it's like barreling down like on a Shinkansen train, like boom, like a bullet train. Everything's going really well. And then all of a sudden, you'll take a dip, or, you have to slam on your brakes, because it's like, things get laid down in front of your track that can, tip the train, or make you have to slam on the brakes, or, you know what I mean? So the tempters, they're neither good nor bad. Like Grim Rapper, they're just there to do a purpose. I say they, but it's an energy. But they come, and the energy is presented in the form of, obviously, in human form. So then what happens is, one thing will happen, and then another thing will happen. And depending on how you react to that temptation will decide what happens next. So, like, for example, everything might be going really well, and then you get an unexpected bill, or someone just suddenly starts being a douche, or like little things start happening that either knock your confidence, or make you question your path, or make you step back, or, oh no, I've had enough, or oh no, this is too hard, or oh, I can't do it, or I don't know how I'm going to do this, or I give up, that sort of thing. When those situations happen where you get hit in the gut and you're like, oh my God, like I can't handle this. Like, why the hell is this happening now? Or what did I do to deserve this? Or, why were they taken from me? Or, what did I do wrong? When you start questioning your path, that's the tempters. And what it is they're there to tempt your fate. It's a test to see how much you want it. Do you want your destiny that much that you are willing to um, walk through the fire in order to purify yourself? Because these little temptations are put in your path to test you to see how much you really want it. Because if you're getting rewards at the end where you're never going to have to worry about money, where you're never going to have to worry about going without, where you're going to have so much fame that people are going to hand you free food and free gifts and that sort of thing, where the Lord is handing you the kind of power where you're going to run nations and empires and companies and that, you have to bloody earn it. You have to prove that you deserve that fate, that you deserve that destiny. It doesn't just get handed to you on a plate. And even if you were born to be president, even if you were created to be president, um, how well you are as a president is all dependent on you. If your destiny is to be president, it doesn't mean your destiny is to be a good president. It could be that your destiny is to be a dictator or a tyrant prime minister. So, but how you handle that is all up to you. That's got nothing to do with anyone but you, your choices and your decisions. And when the hand of fate comes to tempt you, how you deal with that temptation then decides your fate, which side of the scale you're on, the light or the dark, right? So for the average everyday person like us, that like me, that isn't a president or a prime minister or a famous movie star or whatever, I just want to have an empire, because basically I came up with the idea for the foundation because I needed a way to come up with money where I could build these safe houses for the children that we want to rescue from, human trafficking and all of that, and slavery. Um, I needed to come up with a way to fund it. So I used my sister's story. I used the story of all the police officers and military personnel that I was helping with the PTSD and all of that. I came up with the idea to build the foundation to generate the revenue to pay for the safe houses, because I don't want taxpayers having to foot the bill for the safe houses, because a lot of them are going to be illegal immigrant children. They're ones that have been smuggled across borders and that. So 99.9% of the time where these children are rescued aren't from their original countries, but then they're put in like detention centres and foster homes and in social care and all of that are deplorable conditions. And I, as a mum and a human being with a heart, can't bear the thought of kids being locked in cages. I saw how Obama did it, and it's inhumane, and I can't have that. The adults can fend for themselves, but the children can't. So I want to take the children and put them in safe houses where they'll have dorms and 3 meals and like a normal home, but where they'll have bunk beds instead of their own bedrooms and that, until we can repatriate them. And if they can't be repatriated, because a lot of these children are bred to be used, for sacrifices and for sex and for slavery, so they don't actually have technically parents, because once the babies come out of the mother, they take them and then use them for whatever, right? So a lot of these kids belong to nowhere and no one. So if they can't be sent back to family, then they can just grow up with us. They'll never have to worry about being removed from us, because the way that I've designed the foundation, it's like a teeny tiny little village inside a state, a county, a country that's all of our own, where the kids can grow up, and then obviously when they're old enough they can choose to leave in that. But it's kind of like a working foster village, I guess you could say, for the kids that have nowhere to go, have no family, they don't belong to anyone. So that's what I want to do, so that's my destiny. That's what I'm here to do. And obviously, my story, so you know that because I'm doing God's work, and I'm helping rebuild the new world as the old world falls behind us. You know, like the death of the New World Order is starting to happen, the Illuminati is starting to fall, everything's starting to get torn down. And my purpose is to lead those people like Moses through the desert and into the new world, you know, the promised land. I'm creating the promised land, little pockets of promised lands all over the world in my foundations. And my purpose is I lead people out of the dark into the light, you know, into the promised lands. So I've had everything thrown at me that you could possibly imagine. Everything. I can't, I can't think of an incident in my life that hasn't been put in my path to try and stop me um, from doing God's work and rescuing these children, because the children I save today, they're going to become the famous people and the presidents and the prime ministers and the, you know, the actors and the influencers and that of tomorrow, the Mozarts and the people that are going to have genuine influence over other children's lives when they grow up. So I'm here to rescue them and save them and protect them so that they can, when they're in their little cocoon of protection in our foundations, um, they come out butterflies and not moths, because as you know, butterflies chase the sun, whereas moths chase false light, and you know, it kills them. So yeah, I'm creating butterflies. um, Moths are the totem for taking things to the underworld, whereas butterflies are the totem for taking things to heaven, right, to the light of creation, and not the light of destruction, which is what a moth is. So my little foundations are cocoons where they can come in and grow their wings, so that when we let them free, you know, they're beautiful, big, shiny butterflies with bright wings intact and all of that. So, obviously, because I'm here to do God's work and save children and create a whole new world of imagination and creation and invention and inspiration and all of that through what we create, and through what the children will eventually create. Of course, I've had a lot of tempters come into my life. Don't worry about that noise, it's the bin men. I've had a lot of tempters come into my life from, you know, the highest echelons of government to the lowest scums of devil worshippers and demons, right? Put all sorts of temptations in my path to try and knock me off my path. But because I know what it is, it doesn't sway me. So when things happen, um, instead of getting upset and jumping up and down and, oh my God, why, you know, blah, 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 I just go, okay, I can't control this. This is out of my hands. What do I do? What do I need to do to fix this? You know, and blah, blah, blah. So then I just sit back and I relax and I figure it out calmly and coherently and deal with the problem. And then once it's dealt with, it's like, that's it, it's over and done with. Moving on to the next day or the next minute or the next hour. Here we go, forward thinking, head, eye on the prize, head up, looking towards the light, because I know how this ends for me. I have the luxury as a time jumper and as someone who was in direct communication with the ancestors and the lords from all faiths and, you know, realms. I know how this ends for me, so I don't have that worry. But everybody else out there doesn't have that kind of assurance, so this is where I come in. So when things happen in your life, when you're on a determined path, this is what I want, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be, this is who I want to be with, this is who I love, that sort of thing. I want to, like, and you know in your heart, without a shadow of a doubt, where you just know, this is who I was born to be with, this is who I was born to be, this is what I was born to do, without a shadow of a doubt. Even if it's a 3, 4, 10, 20 year struggle, and it's like one foot after the other, dragging yourself through mud, like, oh my God, am I ever going to get there, sort of thing. Firstly, that's a test of patience and faith. So then you just need to give it to your gods and ancestors, to help bring you calm and patience, because patience was my last test. I keep saying I don't have time for patience, but I was forced to learn patience, stupid, dumb patience. But everything else, the little things, the little knockbacks, the unexpected bill, the company screwing up and taking too much money out of your bank and leaving you broke, which is what happened to me yesterday. Um, like instead of freaking out about it, I just was like, okay, well, I've got enough to last me until I get paid next, but what am I going to do in the meantime for this, that, and the other thing? And then I came up with a solution, and within an instant, the solution was resolved, and now, I just moved on. But it's little things like that that happen that try and make you lose your temper. Oh, I give up. Like, oh my God, it's not fair. To pull you back down. It's designed to pull you back down. It's designed to tempt you off your path. They're like little demons that come into your life that try to knock you down, knock you off your perch, take you down a peg or two, depending on obviously how the little demon is presenting itself. Because obviously, see, with the Grim Reaper, Grim, the Grim Reaper, Grim doesn't decide how you die or when you die. The sole purpose of Grim's job is once you are dead, he uses his scythe to remove your soul from your body, to remove the soul from the flesh, and escort you to wherever you're destined to go. And if you're destined to go to the underworld, then when Grim he turns up in the form of a demon, right? But obviously, if you're on a righteous, if you were a good person and you just need to go to judgment, or like if you're a baby or an innocent, you go to heaven, then he escorts you to the light. He either escorts you to the dark or he escorts you to the light. You'll know the second he turns up as to how he presents himself, where you're going. Which is why, like if you know that movie Ghost, when Willie was dead, when he got hit and, he died, um, the Grim Reaper turned up in the form of the demons that sucked him down into the earth. He knew immediately he was in trouble when he saw the Soul Collector in the form of those shadow demons. But obviously, when Sam did it, it was the light. When Sam died, he was the light because he was a good person, so he was going to the light. So he was always surrounded by the light. So Grim was the light for him, the light of salvation. Um, so how you respond and how you react to these temptations will decide what happens next. And it'll either be 2 steps forward or 2 steps back. But it's up to you. So when these temptations happen, when these little things happen to try and knock you off your path or make you deviate from that relationship, or, make you turn away, or make you react in a negative way, that's on purpose. And what you're supposed to do is immediately recognize that's exactly what it is, and then cut it off. Cut off that negative energy, cut off that negative thought, cut off that negative, whatever. Cut off whatever it is that is weighing you down, that's bringing gravity and weight to the situation, within the fibre of your being, because you feel that stuff in the center of your core, because it's a soul contract. And when the temptations come, it's trying to enter you into a new soul contract that decides how much light and shadow your soul carries. So when these things happen and it's a shock and it weighs heavy on you, it's, the gravity of the situation is weighing heavy on your soul. So then you're expected to go, that's what it is. Okay, I know what it is. Bugger it. And I always say, you have no power over me. This isn't going to work. Nice try, devil. It's not going to work, you know. And then you step into faith, and then that's when everything that was weighing you down will get resolved and removed, and then you can move on like, haha, didn't win. Lesson learned, I'm off, I'm on my way, sort of thing. You don't let it get to you. You can't let it get to you. You can't let it affect you. And then, of course, because you pass that trial, then the reward comes. You'll get the answer. You'll get the solution. You know, you'll get the sign that, oh my God, they still love me, or oh my God, we really are going to be together, or you know, oh my God, I am going to get that job, or you will get the job, or you will get the whatever it is. You know what I mean? Depending on your situation. So don't fear or stress the temptations when it comes through. Know and recognize exactly what it is when it happens, and then you'll immediately know how to turn it around in your favor, so that it doesn't become a hindrance or a burden or karmic debt. Okay. So I just thought I'd put that out there. So have a wonderful day. Hold your head up high and know you are loved. Ka kite anō. Mwah.